Welcome back to Man Down Sports. As you can see from the thumbnail, Chandler Parsons had something to say about Denver Nuggets and Nikola Jokic and this run that they're on without Nikola Jokic. And I thought it was, I wouldn't say important, but I thought it was noteworthy enough to get in here and have a conversation surrounding it because I kind of like what they said, and I like the fact that with Jokic going down, it's revealing a lot of things about the Nuggets and about the role players and the supporting cast of Nikola Jokic and how capable they are. And now people are starting to turn the tides and call it like it really is. You're not going to hear much of them saying that Jokic don't have an all-star. Jokic never had an all-star. Jokic don't have a adequate supporting cast, and that's going to be the catalyst for all his accolades and all this stuff. You're not going to hear that anymore. And I think for now on, we should probably just do away with that. I think that we should stop trying to come up with ways to downplay a person's supporting cast to make them look better. I mean, I think that's just rule of thumb. It's probably untrue. Like, it is a red flag anytime I ask you how good is this player, and in order for you to explain how good he is, you have to tell me how bad his teammates are. Like, think about how much sense that don't make. How good is he actually? Well, let me tell you what he don't have around him and blah, blah. Like, that makes no sense, right? It's a red flag. There's a lot of making excuses and stuff like that. But the reason why I thought this was a video that was noteworthy to do is because the goalpost has been moved again. Now that we see that the Nuggets can survive without Nikola Jokic, the narrative before was that there would be a lottery team without Jokic. They would barely win games. They would look like trash. His teammates are trash and butt and all this stuff. And little by little, all those narratives just keep getting destroyed. All of it the fact that they say that he never had any all-stars, which is true. Nobody got selected for all-star. But it's a reason why they wasn't getting selected. It wasn't because they wasn't all-star level players. And now that you see Murray is solidifying his spot as an all-star this year, and so was Michael Porter Jr., right? What's the common denominator? They was able to showcase what they could do without Nikola Jokic, so the goalpost has been moved to where now we're saying, well, this isn't really success that we're seeing with the Denver Nuggets because they're playing below 500 teams. So the wins that they have below 500 teams, we're just not going to count those, or we're going to poo-poo them, or we're just going to invalidate them and say, we can't take that any serious and say that this proves that these guys can play basketball, right? So in order for you to prove that you can play basketball, you don't have to just play well. You have to play well against the best teams, which, I get it. If someone play well against bad teams and play horrible against the best teams, then that's something you have to consider. But if all I have is a sample size of as a matter of fact, that's not all we have. They played well against the Boston Celtics. They played well against Cleveland, but they lost. But they played well against Cleveland. They played well against Boston and won. They played well against Philly and won. Those are playoff teams. They played well against Toronto and won. And these are all on the road. So they went on an East Coast road trip, played 4 playoff teams, and was 3-1 against those playoff teams. And then they played 3 below average or below 500 teams, and they are 3-2 against the below 500 teams. They lost to the Hawks and the Michael Porter Jr. reunion game. He came in and destroyed them, right? So they lost those 2 games. They dropped those. So they lost 3. They won 6. 3 against playoff teams, 3 against non-playoff teams. 3 against teams above 500, 3 against teams below 500. So we have a sample size of 3 games, at least 3 games against playoff teams, maybe 4 games because at Cleveland, 4 games against playoff teams. They're 3-1. So take that. So the goalpost is moved, and that's what it is. But let's play what Chandler Parsons said. He was having this conversation with Lou Will and Michelle Beadle on their podcast. and that was discussing it. You're going to hear Lou Williams talk first, then you're going to hear Chandler Parsons talk. And I really want to highlight what Chandler Parsons said, because when he got to the part where he was like, I didn't know Peyton Watson can play like that. Like, I had no clue. And he said, I didn't know that the Nuggets was this deep. They're actually stacked, right? Take a listen to it.
This team has responded with Jokic being out of this lineup. You know, when you stand next to such a bright light like that, it kind of dims your light. So for him to not be there and these guys have an opportunity to shine bright and still be successful with his absence, I love that. I love the fact that Jamal Murray is having an opportunity to stand out and show that, hey, I can keep this thing stable until big fella gets back. I love the fact that my man Peyton, he's out there hooping the way that he's hooping, averaging almost 25 points a game and over what? I'm sorry, I can't even remember, but those two guys are absolutely balling. Aaron Gordon is back in the lineup, and he's balling. So they've shown that they're a capable basketball team. And look, when Jokic goes off and he has these nights where he has these big gaudy numbers with 10, 15, 20 assists and all of these things, he got to pass the ball to somebody, and they got to be able to finish that for him to get assists. Now we're starting to shine the light on those guys. So it's great to see, but slightly surprised, but not very at most.
Yeah, I'm surprised just obviously how good Jokic is and how much he impacts the game, that you think if you take that off the court, they're going to really struggle. And on the flip side, I just think this experience and this opportunity that these guys are getting that they don't normally get, the guys like Jones, the guys like Pickett, Peyton Watson, I always just thought he was like this long, versatile, defending, shot-blocking wing. This dude is a bucket, and he is so athletic, and he's averaging 25 points. Like, he's cooking. So I love to see these other guys get opportunities, because we all know how good Jokic is. And even Jamal Murray, it's a guy that's probably one of the best players to never not be an all-star. Jokic goes out, their team not only keeps winning, but he is carrying them. He is doing everything offensively. And he's playing the same way he does with Jokic, just a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more assertive, which is awesome. And so I look at this team. I had no idea that this team was deep. I didn't know they were going to be this balanced, but all it took was Jokic going out for a couple of weeks to realize, now this team is stacked. They're so balanced. They're so versatile. They can go small. They can go big. And Jamal Murray is that dude. And I will throw a fit if he's not an all-star, because he is definitely
okay. All right, is he definitely an all-star?
So there you have it. Chandler Parsons toward the end said that Jamal Murray is carrying this team. He had no clue Peyton Watson was that good. He thought he was just a defensive guy, but he's actually a bucket. We already covered Peyton Watson earlier today. Go check that video out. But he said, I had no clue Peyton Watson was this good. He's a freaking bucket. He's averaging 25. And all it took was for Jokic to go down. And lo and behold, we get to see that this team is deep, and these dudes can play, and they actually got a squad. And they've always had a squad. And we let fans lie to us and say the reason why Nikola Jokic has to play triple-double basketball because he has no help and he has no supporting cast. And that's why he should get MVP. And that's why he's one of the best players of all time, because his team sucks and he has no all-star. Right? That's what they're telling us. But these same people that was on this roster, I mean, of course, they added Valanciunas, but he only played one game without Jokic. So he ain't even been there. Aaron Gordon missed half these games. Cam Johnson is not there. He's a new. So the only new guy that's really been there that's different from the roster that we had last year in Denver is Tim Hardaway Jr. and Bruce Brown. And Bruce Brown hasn't even been that much of a factor. Tim Hardaway Jr. has. Bruce Brown has not been that much of a factor. So all the new guys, we can't say, oh, the team is deep now because they added. No, these are the same guys from last year. Minus Michael Porter Jr. Basically, take away Michael Porter Jr. his 18 points and throw in Tim Hardaway Jr. and Bruce Brown, and it's virtually the same roster. So we can't act like, oh, he didn't have help last year. He had Michael Porter Jr. last year, who's a freaking all-star, who was your fourth option. You had an all-star caliber player as your fourth option, and now we got Peyton Watson, who was so. Look, he's averaging 25. He was on your bench. So not only did you have Jamal Murray, who's all-star this year, who's been all-star caliber pretty much the last 3-4 years. You got him capable of scoring 50 in a finals game, playoff game, or a regular season game. He's done all of them. He's that type of player. Your clutch player as well. Very good ball player. Then you got Aaron Gordon. He should be a daggone at least second team all defense. Phenomenal defender, phenomenal rebounder, scorer, slasher, high flyer, and can shoot the three. He's shooting it above 40%. And he's capable of scoring 50. He scored 50 this year as well on the first game of the season. So you had that. You had Murray, Gordon, and then your fourth option was Michael Porter Jr., who's an all-star this year and always been an all-star caliber player the last 2 or 3 years as your fourth option on top of a guy capable of scoring 25 points a game on your bench and Peyton Watson. And this is not help. This is not adequate help, right? So I'm glad Chandler Parsons put that out there in the atmosphere for people to hear it so you can kind of change this false narrative in people's mind. I did see a comment from my guy Taco Master. Let me see if that comment is there. Where's your comment at, Taco Master? Salute to Taco Master, man. Long time moderator and member of the channel. I appreciate you. We disagree on this Jokic thing, though. And he says, but when Jokic fans use this on SGA, it was bad logic, double standard, sir. I don't think that Jokic fans use this logic on SGA because the logic they use on SGA was that SGA does not deserve the MVP because he's getting carried by his team. They said his team is a super team, and the team is so good that they're carrying SGA. That was the narrative for SGA. What I'm saying right now about Jokic is the narrative that Jokic fans. Now, this is not, I only have a narrative. I'm just speaking against the false narrative that Jokic fans have. The false narrative was that Jokic should get MVP because he don't have help. And I'm trying to show people that he's always had help. That was a false narrative. I'm not trying to say that he has a super team. I'm saying that he's always had help. He's always had adequate help. He's always had all-star caliber help. And Murray and then MPJ. For sure. He's always had all-star caliber help. And he has it now with Murray. So that's what I'm saying. This is definitely not the same thing what Jokic fan was saying about SGA. Right? So this is definitely not the same thing, brother. Definitely not the same thing. Scap definitely pointed out some good stuff in BJ's video. I'm not sure what BJ's is. Well, let's point out some good stuff in this video then. Right? So one thing I heard, like I said, the new goalposts. He said that his video today, their opponents have been terrible during the stretch. Okay, well let's tackle that. I'm glad you said that. So someone said that the opponents, the last 9 games, they've played 9 games without Jokic. 10 if you add the game that he got hurt in, but he started that game, so officially that game is they've had 9 games. They're 6-3 without Nikola Jokic, right? Without him starting the game. And like I said earlier, they played 3 playoff teams: Boston, Philly, and Toronto. Right? When Toronto played the Denver Nuggets, they were number 2 in the East. Now they're tied they're number 4 in the East now, but number 2, 3, and 4 all have 25 wins. It's just that Toronto played more games, so they have 2 more losses than the number 2 team. So 2, 3, and 4 all have 25 wins. Right? So that's Boston 2. I can't remember who's 3 and freaking Toronto was 4, but they all got 25 wins. But they played Philly, playoff team. I think they're number 6 or 7. Philly, Toronto, Boston. They beat all 3 of those teams. Right. So they played 3 playoff teams. So we can really stop there when he said that they're playing subpar. And let me put your comment back on the screen too. His video today, the opponents have been terrible. All right. So At least 3 of those opponents. This is not, remember, 9 games. So 3 of them was not terrible. This is a 9-game stretch. They're 6-3 in this 9-game stretch. 3 of them was playoff teams. 3 of them was below 500 teams that they beat. Right. So they beat 3 playoff teams, and then they beat 3 below 500 teams, and then they lost to 3 teams as well. And the 2 teams, the Hawks and the Brooklyn Nets, was 2 teams below 500. So they lost to 2 below 500 teams, and then they lost to a playoff team in Cleveland Cavaliers. All right, so take that, for what it's worth. So I just want to give you the information. He said the teams was terrible. So basically what they're saying is we have to invalidate this 9-game stretch that they're 6-3 on because the team was terrible. Well, let's kind of evaluate the best stretch they had while Jokic was playing this season. They had a stretch of 10 games. They haven't played 10 games without Jokic as of yet. They got a game tomorrow that'll be their 10th game without Jokic. So I only have a sample size of 9 games without Jokic, but I'm going to use the best 10-game stretch with Jokic. And I'm going to put it on screen. And the best 10-game stretch with Jokic, here we go right here. If you can look starting from game number 6, when they've played Sacramento Kings and they beat Sacramento Kings, they went on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-game win streak. Then they lost to Chicago, and then they beat New Orleans. That's 8 out of 9 games, and then they beat Houston. That's 9 games out of 10. That's the best 10-game stretch they had with Jokic. Right? Now, let's get into the facts about what they've done with Jokic. And let me take this comment down. This is what they've done with Jokic. Jokic has played and started 32 games. Of those 32 games, they have 10 losses. That means they have 22 wins and 10 losses. Of those 10 losses, they have lost to a total of, let me get this right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 non-playoff teams below 500. Well, if you count the Miami Heat, they're 21-20. So they 1 game above 500. So they've lost to 5 below 500 teams, and then they lost to the Miami Heat doing those 10 losses this season. Right. So they're losing to below 500 teams with Jokic. Then if you take that 10-game stretch where they went 9-1, of the 9 games that they won, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them was against teams below 500, including the Heat. That's 1 game above 500. And then they lost to Chicago, who's below 500. So 7 games out of the 10 games they played was teams below 500, including the 21-20 Miami Heat. So the best 10-game stretch with Jokic was against 7 losing ball clubs. We can go a step further. Nikola Jokic has scored over 30 points in 13 games out of the 32 games he's played. I repeat that. He scored over 30 plus points in 13 games this season out of the 32 he's played. Of those 13 games that he scored 30 plus points, 9 of those games were against teams below 500. 3 of those games was against the Sacramento Kings, and they're trash. Right? They played Sacramento 3 times. They played Indiana, they're trash. They played Atlanta, they played Chicago, and they played the Clippers. And of course, they played Miami, who's 21-20. So his best games, and I can show you these games too. His best games, if you look all the way to the right, those are the points. I got the points highlighted. There's 34 points against Sacramento. 33 against Miami, 32 against the Pacers, 35 against Sacramento. That 55 game he had was against the Clippers. I watched that video that you're talking about that the other content creator made, and I noticed that there was a video before that praising how good the Clippers are. And the Clippers are still below 500. So I'm trying to figure out why they made that video, and then it hit me. That video was made in preparation because I had to praise the Clippers because they know once he made that video talking about these below 500 ball clubs, someone was going to point out, hey, Jokic had one of his best games against a below 500 ball club. He got ahead of it and praised the Clippers. Oh, they're playing so great. They're a great team. That way, if someone ever called him out about the 55-point game that Jokic had against the Clippers, who was below 500, we can't invalidate it because I've already validated the Clippers as a great team because they're playing so phenomenal right now. But they're below 500 as well. So we're going to do this in the vacuum. The Clippers are below 500. So all of these 30-point games, there's another 36-point games against Chicago. They lost that game. Another 44-point game, 44-point game right there against Sacramento. But they played Sacramento so many times, and Sacramento's so trash. He had some of his best games against them doo-doo teams. 40 points against Atlanta. Looked like another 36 against Sacramento. So, like I said, I'll put his graphic back up. Of the 13 games that he scored 30-plus points, 9 of them was against bad teams. 9 of them. Where you at? Where you at, my dog? Where you at? Hold on. Where's my guy who started this conversation, putting up all those numbers against bad teams? Yeah, this backfired on y'all, didn't it? That sounds like LeBron. Don't change the subject, bro. Do not change the subject. I want you to call in tonight so we can have this conversation. Do not change the subject. Come back in the comment section when I open the phone lines up. Call in. Let's have this conversation. Right. So if we're going to invalidate games against below 500 teams, we got to take away 9 30-plus point, including the 55-point game he had against the Clippers. That's gone, right? And 13 or 12 other 30-plus point games, all against bad teams, 500 or below, including the 21-20 Miami Heat. Invalidate all of that. Invalidate the best 10-game stretch that Denver had, because 7 of them out of the 10 games was against losing ball clubs. Right? We're gonna do all that. And then we gotta put a little something extra on those 6 losses. 6 out of 10 of them coming to bad, non-playoff, below 500 teams. Look at that graphic, bro. Why? Hold on. Where are you at? Where are your comments at? Why are you running? Where are you at? Where did you go? I don't see you in the comment section no more. Where did you go? Where did you go? Read my net differential part 2. No, where did you go? I want you to come back, big dog. Come back in the comment section. Come back in the comment section. Come on, dog. I'm gonna open the phone lines up. You got to call in. So let's go back and look at these numbers again. So I put up this graphic, and if you look at the gray areas where Nikola Jokic was inactive, those was the games that they played without Nikola Jokic. They beat Toronto, they lost to Cleveland, they lost to Brooklyn, they lost 2 games in a row. Then they won 2 games in a row against Philly and Boston. 2 good games, right? Then they lost to Atlanta. I think that was a back end with a back-to-back. Then they beat now they're on a 3-game win streak: Milwaukee, New Orleans, Dallas. But they invalidated these games because these teams aren't world beaters. So we look at Dallas. Yeah, they're struggling. But did you know that with Nikola Jokic, they lost to Dallas twice? December 1st, they lost to Dallas by 10 points, 131-121 with Nikola Jokic. What's their other loss to Dallas? Let me see if it's down here. There you go. Then a couple of weeks later, December 23rd, 2 days before Christmas, they lost to Dallas by 1 point with Nikola Jokic. So they lost to him twice, not 3 times. So they lost to Dallas 2 times with Nikola Jokic. But now that they beat Dallas without Nikola Jokic, we're not supposed to count it. But you was losing to them with Jokic. So are we counting the games against bad teams or not? Are we not counting it? Are we invalidating? What are we doing? Like what are we doing? So you thought that somebody made a good point. You thought that a content creator made a good point about the records of the teams they're beating. But if you're going to invalidate those, you got to invalidate all of them. You got to invalidate every win they got against a bad team, all the points they got against bad team. None of that junk count. So it really looks like the best games Nikola Jokic has are against bad teams. Look at all those 30-plus point games against bad teams. But look at the teams when they play playoff teams. Look at the first game against Golden State. They might be considered a good team or playoff team. 21 points. Phoenix, they considered a playoff team. 14 points. Minnesota, 25 points. Right? There go another one. Golden State again, 26 points. Right? The Spurs, 21 points. And a loss. Like you're playing Wemby. It's center against center. Show me something. You got something to prove. 21 points and a loss. Phoenix, another playoff team, 26 points. Right? So when he's playing these teams that are good and playoff teams, he fails to get the 30 points. They go Orlando, another playoff team, 23 points. And I'm looking at the red circles. That's 23 points against Orlando, 25 points against Houston, a playoff team. That's a 14-point against Utah. I don't know what that's about. But yeah. But when you play a below 500 team, you're getting 50 and 30 and 40. You got a 56-point game against Minnesota. Got to give you your credit there, so I'll put a highlight on it. 56 against Minnesota. That's a playoff team. Good job. And the win. And it was good job. Right? 30 against Orlando. 34 against Orlando. Good job. So you got some sprinkled out there where you go 30-plus against a playoff team, but most of your 30-plus point games are against non-playoff teams, my brother. Non-playoff teams, 13 games, 30-plus points, 9 of them against below 500 teams. So what are we doing? What is the rule for a game against below 500 teams? Guys, can't do that, man. That makes too much sense. Yes, it makes too much sense, dog. It makes too much sense. I must have got it confused. Apparently, it only matters if you beat the right teams without your star to prove yourself right. So when you beat a bad team with your star, count it. If you beat a bad team without your star, don't count it. That's the rule. If you can't, I can't make this stuff up. But what I can do is open these phone lines up. And man, I sure hope some of y'all call in. I'm like, somebody already ran away from the comment section. Where did he go? Where did he go? Phone lines are open, 442-288-9352. I don't see his comments no more. I do not see no comments from a man. The last comment was he said that it sounds like LeBron James. Ha. Bruh, call in and explain to me how that sounds like LeBron James and explain to me the logic that you thought. I go to your first comment. I'll put that on screen. When you thought you was cooking, I think you thought you had a good point. I think you thought you had a good point. I ain't see this one with Jokic there plus 12 and there. Bruh, I can care less. They're 6-3. There you go. He said Scap definitely pointed out some good stuff in his video. His video that they hit their opponents have been terrible during the stretch. Okay. And during the stretch of Nikola Jokic, when they went 9-1, those opponents was terrible. 7 of them to be exact. And he lost to one of them. So the best 10-game stretch for Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets was against terrible teams. What does that mean? Tie with MMK 4800. What does that mean? What does it mean that the best 9-10-game stretch with Nikola Jokic was against 7 bad ball clubs? What does it mean? Call in, my brother. Call in, man. What are we doing, dog? Nobody wants to call in. Nobody want to push back. There's no pushback for this. I blame the NBA for this stat happy league. People playing like it's open gym with unlimited free throws. Mel, are you hurting the Jokic fans' feelings again? I don't know. I hope not, man. Because I want them to stick around. I want them to call in and have a conversation with me. You should have Scap on the show. Well, I mean, I don't mind it. I mean, if he go come in and tell me that, you know, I just use his logic or whoever logic that agrees that we can't count these 9 games without Jokic because they were against, bad ball clubs. I mean, I think 5 of them was bad ball clubs and 4 of them was good ball clubs. Right. So I guess we just can't count it. I guess you got to, I mean, I don't know. I mean, is 8 good ball clubs on each side of the team? Well, I don't even go say 8 because some people in the 8 seed were losing records. So let's say it's 6 on each side, East and West. You got 12 good ball clubs, which leaves you, 20 more. Is it 32 teams in the NBA or 30? I forget which one. If the NFL got 30 or the NBA got 30, is one of them. But I let's say 32. Let's say it's 32 teams in the NBA. If 12 of them are good ball clubs, you still got 20 of them that are not good ball clubs. You have to play them. Why are we qualifying how we can judge a team or a player? I'm not like, if you're playing bad teams and winning, then that's how I could judge a team by saying, well, we can't say that they're going to be a good playoff team because we haven't seen them consistently beat playoff teams. Right. So I get that. If we was on the microphone trying to say that the Denver Nuggets as a team can compete without Nikola Jokic, then I would understand you pointing out the teams that they faced in the last 9 games. But all I am saying is that I'm evaluating the players and they can play. These dudes actually can put the ball in the bucket. So even if it's a good team or a bad team, if you can put the ball in the bucket, it's going to show. It's going to show. I can look at what Peyton Watson was doing. Oh, the dude can play. All we saying is the dudes can play, and they're not liabilities like everybody thought they was. Like everybody was lying and saying they was. That's all we saying. Nope, nobody's trying to say, hey, look, man, this team can get it done without Jokic. No, I don't think nobody believes that. I don't think nobody believes that at all. Comments. Remember, according to Jokic fans, the Nuggets are trash without Jokic. Russ, MPJ, Murray, AG, or Jokic merchants, but now they're only winning without Jokic because they're playing as a team. Somebody told me they're winning because Jokic coaching them. All the legends would be disappointed with the mentality he stands. This mentality of it don't mean jump. SHIT. If you beat bad teams, is exactly why a lot of teams play down to their competition. Yeah, that's true. I mean, you beat a team immediately. Yo, I thought I was the only one who thought the NBA looks like LA Fitness. Yeah, he did dip real fast. He disappeared. Mel brings Scap on your show and bash him with your irrefutable reason. Jokic Stans need to be taught a lesson. I'm not here to teach nobody a lesson, man. You know, I just say my opinion, and I take no joy in having somebody come on the show and trying to belittle them or nothing like that. Like that ain't my style. Like we have fun on this show. Like everybody that call in, even when we disagree, it's all fun and games, right? If I made people feel uncomfortable or feel like I was trying to belittle them, like I don't think that's a good thing. So I think we can keep our distance. Like, I've never been on his show. He's never been on our show. I have been on a panel on another channel when he was there, but he was a pleasant person. Like, I didn't have no smoke with him. I had no issue with him. We just disagree on basketball fundamentally. That's all it is. And it ain't there's no need to debate that. Like once you find out you disagree with someone, like, okay, you see it different than I see it. I think that's where we can keep it. The true Nugget fans are happy that they continue to win. I agree. The games would count had they been losing. Absolutely, they would have. If they lost to those teams that was below 500, they would count. Jokic fans would be all over the internet. The funny thing is Mel doesn't even dislike Jokic. He's actually just holding him accountable to be the best version of himself. Absolutely. I don't dislike him at all. Not even a little bit. He's a likable guy. 100% likable. 100% likable. Nah, he's the biggest Jokic supporter, so he's who you really want to call in, but instead you can just debate him the whole show. I don't do debates. Good on both parties and great content too. Nah, I don't do debates. Like I said earlier, if I'm gonna sit down and have a conversation with someone, we got to speak the same language, and I don't think we speak the same language. I'm gonna be coming from a basketball standpoint, and then some people that's on YouTube, they might be coming from number standpoint. And I just don't speak that language, so you can make a very good point utilizing your numbers, and I just don't respect it. So like what do I do? Do I rebuttal that? I don't even respect the point. Right. So it's like a exercise in futility. I would be wasting his time and mine. Right. But what I will do is continue to say my opinion on my panel. So Mel don't dislike Jokic. A lot of what he's saying is actual facts. Yeah, I mean, I just put the facts on the screen. I definitely just put the facts on the screen. Y'all can go double check that too. Lot of losing, most of his 30+ point games came against losing ball clubs. I don't really get the point. Are you saying Jokic is holding the offense back or players' production? No. What I'm saying is that here's been what I've been saying for the last 3 years. Number one, it's not true that Nikola Jokic don't have adequate help. So every chance I get to point out how he does have adequate help by way of performance from Murray, performance from Gordon, performance for MPJ when he was there, now performance from Peyton Watson. I'm showing, hey, look, I'm pointing my finger and saying, look, that's help. That's a good player. He's good, right? So number one is it's not true that he don't have help. Number two is the play style where it's a triple-double driven offense. The offense is dedicated to Jokic getting his numbers, points, and assists. And then he'd rest on defense because he has the perfect excuse. I'm doing so much on offense. At least y'all can guard my man for me. Let me just roam. And then everyone who's roaming on defense, guess what they get gifted to them? Rebounds. Right? So everyone who plays the triple-double style of basketball have those things in common. They have, let me get this comment off the screen. They have these things in common. On the left, Jokic, LeBron, Harden, Westbrook. Let me get this phone number off the screen. And Caitlin Clark. They all, primary distributors for their team and the primary scorers. They do two things. And for them doing those two things, they get the luxury of being the weakest defender, the laziest defender, and it's okay because the coaches is reinforcing that by saying he's doing so much on offense or she's doing so much on offense, at least y'all can let her relax on defense. And we have to get players around this player that can cover 5 players with 4 people. Right. And when you play, notice all guys and girls on the left, they get triple doubles. They don't play defense. They stuff the stat sheets. They always in the MVP discussion. And they get low budget, easy rebounds because they're not guarding anybody. They're playing like in a free safety type defense where they're just roaming, and you get loose balls for steals and loose balls for rebounds. All of those people. Caitlin Clark is not a good defender, but somehow she gets 2 steals a game. Luka is not a good defender. Somehow he gets 2 steals a game. Harden, not a good defender. Somehow he gets 2 steals a game. Same thing with Jokic. Not a good defender. Somehow he gets 2 steals a game. And same with LeBron. Westbrook is actually a good defender, but when he was playing triple-double basketball, he was not defending. And he was getting steals as well. They all had that in common. How can all of them have that in common if what I'm saying is not true? Also, what they have in common, all their teammates are scapegoats and they get blamed. All of them have to have shooters around them. All of them have to utilize the high screen role, except Jokic because he's a big man. But the perimeter guys, the play starts with the high screen role. They have to have it. That's how they start their offense. It's all the same offense, and they all have the same narrative following them. So what I'm saying is they don't have to play like that. They're playing like that for their numbers and their stats and their MVPs. They're not playing like that for rings. They're playing like that for their numbers and their stats and their MVPs. They do have adequate help, but their adequate help can't help them if they decide to do everything on offense. Like, how can I help you if you always got the ball? What do you want me to do? Look, I can dribble, I can go to the hole, I can post up, I can do all these things, but you're telling me I can't do it in this offense. All I can do in this offense by authorization is catch and shoot threes. That's all you giving me freedom to do is catch and shoot threes. So that's my point, sir. That's my point. All right. Comment section. Mill do be debating when he be like, I'm waiting for someone to disagree with me, say that he don't get the mo once in a while. I wouldn't say I debate. It's a conversation though. I like people to call the show and have a conversation. Right. But when you're debating, it's formal. It's preparation involved. You get what I'm saying? It's just not a conversation. Like when someone called the show, it's just like me talking to my homeboy and we're just saying stuff. Right. I actually could throw a stat out there and be I say 25 points a game and I'm not accurate. I'm remembering it wrong. It's actually 26 points a game, right? I can do that in a regular conversation. If I do that in the debate, oh man, you wrong about the stats. Then you must be wrong about everything. Like, it's formal, right? We taking turns. It's timed. You got topics. It's a style to it. You can actually be wrong about the point you're making, but have a lot of data to support what you're wrong about. Like, statistics can support either side of the argument. So I never liked debate because it's not about the truth. It's about who delivers the debate the best, who debates better. You get what I'm saying? Like, so I'm like, man, why would I schedule a debate with someone And we're not even gonna get to the truth of the matter. We're just trying to see who has the best debate style and entertain people who's watching. That's not what I do. I'm motivated by the truth. So when I see false narratives, now I'm motivated. Oh, I want to make a video about that. I actually want to put the truth out there, set the record straight, like my boy Sports and Fitness Rant say. I like that, right? But me debating for fun or debating for bragging rights, man, that is the anti-poem. You know what I mean? That's not something I do. That's not something I actually schedule and say, hey, I want to go and argue with this person for an hour and then shake hands after it. I think that's pretty, that's just not me. Debates are mostly useless because neither side generally acknowledges the opposition. Thank you, X-Man. You saying exactly what I was thinking. But that should make you, as a fan of your favorite player, happy to see him struggle to become great. It show you that's what they made of. Okay. All right. So there's a lot of comments in here, y'all. All right, let's do this. Jet said he thought I could debate and get the truth out as well. Nah, that just, yeah. The truth is getting out what I'm doing right now, for sure. But I tell you this, if anybody calls the show, we're going to have a conversation. So if that's something that someone would like to do, call the show. Easy day. If the phone ring, I'm going to answer it. The sad part is that people thought Joker was going to be the cure to the LeBron fan disease, and no, he's part 2. He is part 2. All right. I want to discuss the Luka Doncic situation as well. And they just lost to the Charlotte Hornets last night. And LaMelo Ball and Con Canupa, the rookie, and Bridges and Brandon Miller had a field day. They all went over 20. Well, Brandon Miller, LaMelo, and Bridges went over 20. Con Canupa had 19. So they almost had 4 people over 20. They hit 20 out of the 42 threes they took. That was hot. Melo was showboating hot dog and just dancing on people shooting one-legged threes from the corner. It was insane, dog. And the Lakers just looking bad. Kendrick Perkins said the Lakers look like a group of individuals, not a team. He said that is not a freaking team. And Luka Vandross is another player that people are starting to understand. Like, man, that ain't it, dog. Like, we was fooled. Like, a top 3 player, supposed don't play defense, can't play defense, won't play defense. How so? So there's a list of people just taking turns just wearing Luka out, man. It's Nick Van Exel, former Laker, Michelle Beadle, Tim Haberstraw, the guy who tried to say Michael Jordan's defensive player of the year was fake because they fabricated his steals. I thought that was funny. PJ Tucker and Carmelo Anthony. Let's hear what they said, man. It's just a group of people just saying what I've been saying for 3-4 years, 3 to 4 years, dog. I've been saying this. Now people are starting to see the light.
I need you. What I do need you to do, though, I need you to care about the other side as much as we care about this side, and helping me help you be able to get through these coverages and knowing where you're sending people. Because you're not gonna guard. We're gonna put you on. He gonna put him on the corner man, right? He gonna guard me. He gonna guard, the 4th, 5th option on the starting lineup. They're gonna put him in those positions. But what I'm saying is, when you get in those situations, I need you to box out because you got on that other guy. Now you on the guy that's gonna work hard to get rebounds.
Run the margins.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Run the margins.
I need you to do the little things to be able to get the stops to put us in position to win, and not be in coverage and throw your hands up and all the mannerisms like you don't give a shit. Because now I feel away.
Yeah. You know the difference though is that, to your point, he's on the 4th, 5th guy on the court. third, fourth, fifth guy on the court. He's guarding.
Yes.
Nowadays, the third, fourth guy is getting to it too.
Yeah.
So when they see Luka, its eyes is big. The fourth guy now, you ain't got to worry about the main guy. You worry about the fourth guy. When it's swing, boom, 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 he get it on a broken play. He's looking to, I got one.
Attacking, because everybody know.
I got one, right?
Everybody know.
And this is where the disconnect and not having real vets on your team.
Is this?
So that's Carmelo Anthony. That's PJ Tucker. PJ Tucker is a guy that's known for defense and hustle and all that stuff. That's how he stayed in the league and hitting the corner three. So, you know, he's not talking from a place of not understanding what the assignment is. And he's saying, look, dog, I get it, man. You can't move your feet that well, but dog, like when you don't get a call, so put it this way. If we know that we're at the deficit because we got you on the defensive end as a liability, and you know you're a liability, and you know teams are trying to pick on you, you got to understand that we're working so much harder. Like, first of all, we got to score so many points to make up for what we about to give up on the defensive end, trying to protect you. And we're going to be putting out so much effort trying to cover 5 guys with 4 guys because you're almost not even there. Can you help us out by not pouting for a foul call and not running back up court on defense? Like, if you already a liability on defense when you're trying, you cannot afford to yell at the referees and scream and beg for a call while a fast break is going down off the missed shot that you took or the turnover that you just threw. You cannot be the person that is hurting us on defense and then also purposely hurting us in transition because you want to argue with the refs and have that type of attitude and scream at your bench and do all that stuff, man. And that nonsense, man, it's insane, dog. You can't be that guy. And that's what PJ Tucker and Melo is talking about. Give me some effort. At least nip it in the bud of those type of plays. Right? The complaining and the fact, like everybody sees it, dog, and he does it every single game. Every single game. Here's Tim Haberstraw.
Is this a Luka defensive problem or a Lakers defensive problem?
I think it's all of the above. I think Luka Doncic at this point in his career needs to step up more defensively. He doesn't need to be a two-way guy out there, but here's a stat for you is that in the NBA, we have these 3D camera tracking cameras all over the player tracking cameras all over the arenas. And what we can see is that Luka Doncic is the second least mobile player in the NBA on defense. Second least. The only other guy who covers less ground per minute on the floor defensively is James Harden. But if you look around the list of guys who do not move a lot defensively, a lot of them are hid on three-point shooters in the corner like Luka Doncic is. They are guys who are high usage, deep into their 30s guys like James Harden, LeBron James, and Kevin Durant. Luka Doncic is not deep into his 30s, and yet he is one of the least mobile, least active defenders in the NBA. And a lot of that is because they ask him to do so much offensively, and he's not a guy who's going to be guarding the opposing best player. That's why they have Marcus Smart on the team. That's why they have Vando on the team. That's why they have Jake LaRavia on the team. They have 3-and-D guys who are not shooting well from 3 and are not playing well defensively. So they're not 3-and-D guys currently. And that's why I think it's a two-pronged problem, is that the Lakers are built to win a championship today in theory because they got LeBron James, Austin Reeves, and Luka Doncic on the team. But the supporting cast for Luka Doncic is abysmal. Marcus Smart.
So he said that they got cameras that track player movement. And he said that of all the players on defense, Luka is the player that moves the least and covers the least amount of ground. So they really are putting him in the corner on the worst player and praying to God that he don't have to defend the ball or defend somebody trying to get to the hole. Let's pray to God they don't call Luka up for this screen. Go hide in the corner, just stay over there. You can grab all the rebounds, man, but please stay away from the ball, dog. You just go give up a dunk or a layup. Right? That's how bad it is. And he said Luka covers the least amount of ground. And he said for the guys that are in the vicinity of Luka, as far as how much ground they cover, it's guys that are in their late 30s, Harden, LeBron, KD. 37, 40-year-old, 35-year-old. Like, these are old dudes. Luka ain't even 30 yet. Think about how he about to be in his 30s and his mid-30s when it comes to defense and player movement. That is insane.
Unpopular opinion. What are
I
you
got one
opining
for
on?
you. I got one for you. It's very unpopular.
Mhm.
It could get me killed. That's how unpopular this is. I know that's a tease, ladies
About
and gentlemen.
Diddy.
Luka Doncic is highly overrated.
Whoa.
There, I said it.
What?
Drink up, ladies and gentlemen.
Explain this one.
So here's my issue with the Doncic conversation. I can't get on a trend, a bandwagon, a way of thinking that endorses and celebrates Luka Doncic as one of the greatest to ever do it, top this, top that, when he only technically is playing half of this great game of basketball that we so very much love. Because I don't think that makes actual sense. Like, yeah, is he an offensive great machine? Is he fun to watch? Sometimes, sure. Does everyone want to play with him? No. But why is that? Oh, I wonder. He's a huge liability for half of a game. You cannot be the best or one of the best to do anything if you did half the job. And so I'm starting to I've thought this for a really long time. And I've finally started asking like players and stuff like, why can't he just play defense? What are we talking? Can we do the effort? Can we pretend? Can we do anything? Why do we just give him an excuse that he just doesn't do it?
Because he's so good at offense, he doesn't have to.
Okay, well, guess what? Guess what Michelle from Texas says? He'll never get a ring.
It's something to
She said, my hot take is Luka is overrated. And she's right, because if you got him rated as a top 3 player in the league, that's way too high. He's overrated. If you got him rated as like I heard people say he's the best Mav that Mavericks ever had, he's over Dirk. He's overrated. He's not that. He's not that as a player, right? Now, if you want to rate players by what they do with the ball on offense, because I can't even say offense because Luka does absolutely nothing without the ball on offense. You get what I'm saying? Like when Reggie Miller didn't have the ball, threat. When Steph don't have the ball, threat. When Rip Hamilton don't have the ball, threat. When Kyle Korver don't have a ball, threat. When Michael Jordan don't have a ball, threat. Like, are you a threat? Like, are you a threat without the ball just as well as with the ball? Jordan was dangerous with or without the ball. He was dangerous on the perimeter or in the post. He could score from the paint, the mid-range, 3, free throw, and on the fast break. He could do it all. So I wouldn't even say Luka is a top 10 offensive player of all time. I would say he's probably a top 10 player with the ball in his hand. You got to narrow it down and be very specific with what you call Luka. But for the most part, everything that everybody's been calling him, he's overrated. And Michelle Beadle said it. And she said, why are we just giving him a pass for not playing defense? Why are we giving any player a pass for not playing defense? And because we have a cancer or a freaking virus inside the NBA community as a body, and we have to flush that virus out by pushing out the truth and getting right back to the basics of basketball and pushing the stats and the analytic nerds and all these people out. We got to push these people out of the sport, right? We push these people out of the sport, and then we can get back to what the realness is. And you won't get answers like he gave him when she asked, why are we giving him a pass? And he said with a straight face, because he's so good at offense. That is no excuse. You have to play defense in basketball. Absolutely have to. It's a must. All 5 guys must play defense. That's a minimal. Offensive end, you might can get away with somebody like Rodman just being a rebounder and a screen setter. Right? At least he's still helping somehow. But you cannot hide a person on defense and say, we just hope that they don't pick on you. We gotta use everybody to cover up for your lack. Cause we know you about to get cooked like a freaking like lambs or lamb chops or freaking clams.
Stuff that people talking about in Dallas, they now seeing get spotlighted more in the spotlight of LA, Tinseltown.
Nobody's surprised by the fact that Luka is not a great defensive player. Now, he put a little effort in the beginning of the season, and he fooled you. He was like letting you know, like, I'm a different dude. But we all creatures of habits, man. You know, once you settle in and you ain't got you settle in LA, like Quick said, he started back eating buffets. You can tell he picked up a couple more pounds through the year, and that's partly because he's been injured. So when you get injured, some people stay in shape, get their cardio still going, and some people just chill. And Luka on the couch smoking the Newport and drinking he probably drinking Modelo. He seemed like a Modelo type of guy.
I think he just people just going at him more, man. You know, when he was in Dallas, you can kind of hide it because we loved him so much. And in LA, they want to win and they expect greatness, you know, out of their players. And Luka, every time I watch LA, it seems like Luka always gets stuck. He'd be on an island by himself and somebody running by him. If you notice, it's almost like the game plan is to get Luka isolated and let's attack him.
When you talk about the two organizations, you talk about LA. I think we talked about this before, and that's the media compared to Dallas. That's a huge difference. And then you talk about the fan base. You know, LA and Dallas it's two totally different fan bases. The fan base here in Dallas, Luka could do no wrong. But the basketball purists, we saw that he was a liability on defense. You know, we've already saw that. So him being exposed, I just think now it's just on a bigger level because one, the media, and then the media of LA, and then two, just the fans in LA. The fans in LA, man, when you go to LA, they want a championship. They ain't trying to just be happy with making it to the playoffs or making it to the championship. You hear everybody say, well, he made it to the championship, blah, 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 but they didn't win the championship. You know what I'm saying? So the fans in LA, they about winning the championship. And the only thing I would say to Luka is that, man, all you got to do is give more effort. That's all you got to do is give more effort because I think we've all seen guys that couldn't play defense. Kyle Korver was a guy who couldn't play defense on the ball. But one thing Kyle Korver did is, for one, as a team, you're going to hide him, right? You're going to put him on the weakest person or the person that doesn't have the ball as much. But one thing Kyle Korver did is he put forth effort, and he was always in the right spot. I think he's being exposed, but I think the whole world has already seen it. But like I say, when you compare the two media markets, now they talking about it a lot more.
So that the last person that was talking was Nick Van Elst. So that's his podcast. He had 2 other co-hosts that spoke before him. But basically he said, you got to put the effort in, man. Just put in effort, right? Everybody knew even in Dallas, you couldn't defend, right? People are trying to deal with it if you put in effort. At least do that part. But he also said, you know, the media base in LA is different than it is in Dallas. So, you know, the expectation in LA is win. Kobe talked about that. He said that Dwight wasn't even fit for LA and how serious they are about winning. Right. And this is a guy who took defense very serious. And LA ran him out of there pretty much. Kobe and LA ran Dwight out of there. Now they got LeBron and Luka, and this ain't Kobe level effort in no shape or form or fashion. Right? They both should be getting run out of there. But out of respect for LeBron, they're not gonna run him out of there. And Luka is their future. They got to make it work. But not only is his defense sucky, in the regular season, the defense is sucky in the playoffs as well. And what gets worse is they let you defend a little bit more physical in the playoffs, and Luka don't do well against that either. So now you're a liability on defense, and we get to harass you on defense with the Big Baller Coalition. All these great defenders, the Big Baller Coalition, the BBCs, when they get a hold of Luka in the playoffs, it's just ugly, dog. It get real ugly in the playoffs. Big Baller Coalition get a hold of them boys. Ain't no more good after that. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's scary hours for the Lakers, and now everyone is starting to actually come around. It seems like people must be listening to Man Down Sports, man, because I've been saying this since Westbrook. I've been saying this about the triple-double. I've been saying this about people who's not defending. And every time I see it, I'm like, okay, this is just another version of the triple-double basketball. You know, I said it when Caitlin Clark was doing it with the Fever. Like, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. I can see it. It's like, it's so clear to me. I just don't understand why everybody can't see it. But now you're starting to hear people starting to voice their opinion and talk about it a little bit more. Talk about it a little bit more, man. So, I think defense must be racist, dog. I mean, I mean, asking somebody to play defense, asking a superstar to play defense is racist, I guess. Yeah, it's racist, dog. Look, I guess defense discriminates, and my bad for pointing out defense, because I guess it discriminates. I guess I don't know. I guess effort is racist as well, right? Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I've been called worse by better. Oh man. All right. MVP, not MVP, the All-Star, y'all. The All-Star. It's coming up. I think the voting is already done. I'm gonna tell y'all who I got for my votes, but I want to point out Kevin Garnett saying that LeBron ruined, it was the beginning of the end for the All-Star weekend, that when LeBron didn't accept the challenge that Kobe presented him with. And let's backtrack a little years before LeBron was there. And one of the best All-Star games I ever seen was the game. It was two of them, and Kobe was involved in both of them. One of them, the East All-Stars had Iverson, J. Kidd, Marbury, right? They had Ray Allen as well. But this sequence took place in the fourth quarter. The game was tight, and Kobe took it upon himself to go clutch mode and was going shot for shot with Marbury and Iverson. And Kobe would hit a jump shot or a three, then Marbury came down, hit one. I think Marbury hit two. I think Iverson hit one, but it was them two going shot for shot with Kobe. And they went down to the wire, and the East pulled it out. That was hype. If you see how they celebrated, it was, and Kobe was pissed. He wanted to win that, right? Then it was the last game that Jordan played in. And it started with Mariah Carey wearing that Wizards jersey dress, fitting her like skin. She had a Michael Jordan Wizards jersey dress on. Google it. It started with that. Then it got to the point where Vince Carter was voted to be a starter, and he gave his starting position up to Michael Jordan to honor him in his last All-Star game. Then it got down to a fun game, and then the game got close in the fourth quarter. It goes down to the wire, and Michael Jordan hit the game winner, so we thought, oh man, it's the GOAT. Of course he hits the game winner in the All-Star game. But there was still time left on the clock. the West called the timeout. I want to say, I don't know why Isaiah Thomas was coaching the West. Maybe he was coaching the East, but he walked over. I think he walked over to Kobe and told him to, because Kobe got the ball with time left on the clock, pump fake, got somebody in the air and got fouled shooting a three. So he just needs to make. I think that was up 1. The East was up 1, maybe 2. So maybe they was up 1, and Kobe just needed to make 2 free throws to win, and he was shooting 3. And Isaiah Thomas walked up to him and told him, for Michael Jordan, man, miss these free throws. Let him go out on top like that. And Kobe was like, fuck no. Kobe went to that free throw line and knocked all of them down. Pow, pow. So the type of personality he had, and Jordan understands because Jordan's probably the same way. He was like, I'm not about to. Nah, he got to earn that. I don't care who he is. He don't get a chance to go out the way he want to go out. No, I'm spoiling this. That's his personality. No, I'm spoiling this. I'm not missing this. The hell you talking about? And this is mental. So those was really 2 good games. But I like to say this. The spirit of competitive nature was present in the All-Star game. Kobe Bryant was the last of those type of breeds. And it was almost like he was ready to pass the torch to LeBron. And LeBron's out there, Melo's there, Wade, Bosh, all, the new generation is there, Kobe's there. And it comes down to the wire. He remember how Iverson and Marbury wanted to beat him so bad, and they going at it like that. He remember, going final shot with Michael Jordan, then he getting the final shot to beat him. Like, he was going against kindred spirits with Iverson, Marbury, and Jordan. And now we get the chance to do this and show down in front of, give the fans what they want. Kobe versus LeBron. And Kobe Bryant slapped the floor and got in the defensive stand. LeBron had the opportunity to take him and get the last shot and give the people what they wanted. And LeBron didn't accept the challenge and passed the ball up. He passed the ball up, dog. Then they got 2 more opportunities. One opportunity, I think he came in on and had another opportunity, and he threw a turnover. Instead of taking the shot on Kobe, he threw a turnover. Then he still had another opportunity, and they had the ball at half court after the timeout. But instead of him trying to get the last shot, he took the ball out from the inbounds. And Kobe, each time when Kobe challenged him and he passed the ball, Melo and Kobe walked up to LeBron, was like, man, what are you doing? Like, it was like, what? Are you serious? What are you doing? What are you doing? And then the bench, if you see Paul Pierce on the bench, he's like, what? Everybody was shocked. And then every time he passed the ball up, the camera would show like, what are you doing? And then the last opportunity he had, when he came out of the timeout and inbounds the ball, Kobe walked up to him doing the inbounds like, dude, what are you doing? 3 times. But here's Kevin Garnett talking about it. Hold on, let me see if I can pull this up. I got Kevin Garnett talking about this. Bear with me really quick. I want to show y'all the video of Kevin Garnett talking about it because I want y'all to see his face. I could have just got the recording, but I want y'all to see Kevin Garnett's face when he's explaining this. And then they got a little bit of footage as well of the All-Star game when it was going down. Meet me in the trap. Right, let's do this real quick. All right, share my screen. Make sure the sound is on. There we go. Let me make this super size. All right. Let me take this down. Let me take this down really quick. I want y'all to see this. I want y'all to see this. All right.
He fucked the whole tradition up. When Cole slapped the floor, told that nigga, let's go one-on-one, and he passed it, he fucked up the whole tradition.
Damn.
Don't nobody want to hear this? Yeah, I'm one of them gatekeepers. I can say this. Everybody went in it. Bro, he slapped floor on your ass. You supposed to nail his ass with a 3. Boom. Bitch ass nigga, what's up? Y'all supposed to go right there.
Right.
Lord didn't want none of that motion.
Right.
Swung that bitch. Here,
Right.
get that.
Damn.
That's when mama was like, nah, see, you don't want this nigga. Right, talking crazy.
Yeah.
Right. I hate to get to these. That's what really happened. Yeah.
True
And
fact.
ever since then, we've been off the trajectory. He fucked the whole tradition up.
He said that messed the whole tradition up, man. It was supposed to get passed on, man. The tradition was there. I mean, Iverson understood the assignment. Marbury understood the assignment. Kobe understood the assignment. But it didn't. It didn't go from MJ to Iverson, Marbury, Kobe to LeBron. It didn't go to LeBron. It stopped there. It stopped there. And Kevin Garnett, I mean, that's a good point. He's making a daggone good point. Right. So I don't know if y'all remembered that, man, but bro, that is damning evidence, man. That is insane work. And yeah, I don't know what it's gonna take to get it back, man. We need some people that's born with the spirit of Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. We need some people to come in the league with that attitude. But as long as people are looking up to LeBron, and as long as you keep hearing people say Brian is this and Brian is that, oh, I looked up to LeBron, he was my idol, you're gonna have people with his attitude, right? But the people who saying, nah, Kobe was my idol, like SGA, it's a whole different ball game. It's a whole different ball game. Notice Luka said LeBron was his favorite player growing up, and look how Luka play, and look how his approach to the game is. And then SGA think Kobe is the GOAT, and look at his approach. You get what I'm saying? That stuff matter. Cooper said Michael Jordan was the GOAT too, and he went to Duke. So you know if he said that going to Duke, you know he meant that. And Cooper is only 18. I think he might be 19 now. Cooper's an 18, 19-year-old kid. He didn't watch Jordan live. Unreal, dog. Unreal work. But let's get to the All-Star nonetheless. My East All-Stars. If I had my way, this is how I would have voted. I'm definitely putting Cade Cunningham as he's a starter I'm voting for. Giannis, despite the record, I'm voting Giannis in. Starter. Jaylen Brown, starter. And then I'm going with 2 more guards, Brunson and Maxey, starters. It gets real spooky with the East, especially after the starters. Now, my reserves, I'm going Michael Porter Jr., I'm going Donovan Mitchell, I'm going Jalen Johnson from the Hawks, I'm going Cat from the Knicks, Siakam, Jalen Duran, and LaMelo Ball. Those are my reserves. Now, let's talk about the Siakam piece. Well, it's got to be 8 foreigners. It's got to be 8 people to represent the world. So it was Siakam or a couple of more people. Yeah, I could have went maybe Scotty Barnes or maybe Brandon Ingram. I could have went with those. But gotta have a foreigner in there, and if you listen to that, okay, Giannis, that's 1. Hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we still don't have 8. I don't think. Giannis, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, Siakam makes 8. So it's 6 on the West and 2 on the East. Giannis and Siakam are the only 2 foreigners on the East, and you got to have 8. It's going to be 3 teams. It's going to be 2 teams that represent the U.S. and 1 team to represent the world. And it's supposed to be a round robin tournament, and it's supposed to be 8 players on each roster. 8 times 3 is 24, so 12 teams, East and West, split it up, 8 people per roster. So you got to have 8 foreigners. So it was between Siakam, Barnes, and Ingram, and I had to go with the DEI Siakam pick. On the West, starter, SGA, Jokic, Luka, Jamal Murray, Ant-Man. That's my starters. Reserves, Wemby, KD, Steph, Sengun, Devin Booker, Kawhi Leonard, and Danny Avdija from Portland. No LeBron James, no AD. No Julius Randle. Might be controversial. My 8 people representing the world: SGA, Jokic, Luka, Murray, Wemby, Sengun, Avdija, Giannis, and Siakam. Scary hour. Scary team. Scary team. SGA and Jokic and Wemby and Luka. Come on, dog. Scary. And Jamal Murray. Scary. And Sengun. Like you got 3, like all the centers, all pro centers and all-star centers are foreigners. No, you got Jokic center, you got Wemby center, you got Sengun center. They got that locked down. Bro, that's insane work, boy. I mean, I'm not excited about it. I still don't think those guys go play hard. So I don't think they go play hard, but that's my picks for the All-Star. I just wanted to throw that out there. I think we covered everything I wanted to cover. We almost at an hour and a half. It was a good show. Appreciate y'all. Watch some football tomorrow, a little bit of basketball tomorrow. I might be live again tomorrow. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Y'all was scared to call in though. I wanted my Jokic people to come in and call real bad. But nobody wanted to accept the challenge, man. But that's just like the way the league is now. That's the way the league is now. But I ended with this. 32 games Nikola Jokic played. He won 22 games. He lost 10. Of those 10 losses, 6 of them was against teams below 500 or just at 500 in the case of the Miami Heat. 6 losses to below 500 teams. He scored 30-plus points 13 times. Of those 13 times, 9 of them was against below 500 teams. In the best 10-game stretch he had, they went 9-1. Of those 10 games that they played, 7 of them was against below 500 teams. Food for thought. Y'all do the dishes, man. I'll catch y'all on the next show. Peace.